I study, but it's for I guess. Yeah. No, I guess it's like high school. More than it's like high school.
Are we ready, guys?
Actually, I don't know much about it.
Guys, let's meet after the class. Guys, please. I know, but you're here just physically.
Yeah, but still comments are in grade.
Huh? I don't know. But I will see it and send it something. You have to. It's too much. Okay, so we reached a good point in the form. Are we recording? Yes. About translating and talking Arabic. When you think about projects you can build, because it's not just, as I said, building a website, you can build many things. So, for example, Just Eat, it started with just small idea, and it's one of the biggest companies in Europe now. They have a lot of money. Zalando, we have Uber, Airbnb, all these, they are just ideas, and you have all to write something about them. When you come up with an idea, don't just leave it. I have in my notes, I show you like Google Keep. I keep every note in my life in it. I have a section called ideas. Not this one.
You have just one idea.
Yeah. I felt poor, man. Those ideas should come, but yeah, it's us now. So, for example, the Google Duplex. Who have heard about Google Duplex? That's the thing here, that you have involved yourself, immersed in the community of coding. Like when you open YouTube, at least you should see one or video or two about programming. Other things, Louis C.K. It's okay to have some fun in your life, but you need some coding stuff. So, for example, I saw Google Toplex. I will show it to you before we start the class. Google Toplex. It's introduced. You have to follow like the keynotes we say, like for these
promise of the
companies.
assistant. As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. You know, we are working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to
You know what's AI? Artificial.
ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
Did you see this? Yes. It's a human being.
Yeah.
Google Assistant is not becoming more machine. It becomes more a human being. Okay.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now? Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years.
We'll see another.
Listen.
Calling a restaurant.
See how may I hear you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people? When? Today?
Next
Tonight?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually, we leave here for like upper like 5 people. For 4 people, you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Can you see this stuff? You as a developer, the mentality of you, it should be like, I saw this technology, it's coming. In 5 years, it will be available for people. What do you think? You start thinking, how can I make a program to implement this and take money? Because Just Eat and this stuff, they are very popular, not because they are good developers, it's because they are the first in the idea. There's a million Facebook, there is a million LinkedIn. You can develop Facebook after you finish this course. You can make a Twitter. But when you are the first, you are the winner. What did I say? Web API ordering system takes order from Google Duplex and send message confirmation to the customer integration. So I'm thinking of the future instead. That's the problem in a human being, that there's robots taking the people's job and we are helping with that, but that's our work. So instead of having someone in the pizza place answering the questions and replying, we don't need this guy. We need Google Duplex instead of him, and I will be building this app. And I give you my idea now, which is stupid, but that's the thing. There is many other ideas, like when you see a problem in a website, when you see like I have a redesign. These all websites, like UC doesn't have a desktop app. When you see problem, you can figure out. I have sent a lot of emails to companies and programs that you have this problem. I wish you can fix it. And they fix it because you are finding like the important thing for them. I'll show you another example, then we jump to position. If we finish position and Flexbox, we will do more advanced things with forms. But your job, not just doing the homework. I promise you wouldn't learn anything if you just did the homework from now till the end of this course. You have to understand everything you are doing in the homework. You have to learn at first, the first 2-3 weeks, and then start doing your homework. So I did usually how do we work? There is a process you need to follow. You are not doing this. There is UX designers, and these people behind you, they are doing it, and they give you the design and you develop it. But if you want to start doing projects for yourself, you need to know some terminology in design. There is a process called design thinking. So what we do, we emphasize with the users, we do a research, we talk to the user, and we know what's the user need, because the user in the end will use the app or the solution. We define the problem, then we ideate, then we make prototypes, we go to the user again with our solution, we test it on them, we see if it's accessible or not or them, how usable is it, then we test it, then we make it as a solution. Here, for example, there's this business, it's IT services, so they fix phones for people, and they have WordPress site, and they don't have any management system. So we start by analyzing the current information on the website, and we use in the research phase, it's all science. You don't do things from your mind. There is what we call research methods. There is interviewing, observation, and others, and each one of them has cards to do. For example, card sort. So I have information, they should be in the website, but I don't know where to put them. Who would use this website? The user. So I go to the user, I write, I will show you in the end. This is inside the shop. So they have all the orders on the wall, and this is the receipt. This is the receipt, so they write the name of the customer, the number, which phone, what's the problem in it. This is what called card sorting. I go to the user with all the elements inside the website, and I tell them, how would you sort these cards? And the users will sort them for you. It's not your thing to you. It's not you who will use it. The users, focus on the user. After that, we do something called user flow. So we analyze what's all the process. The user come, give me the phone, I go in, I write what is the problem, I order the parts, the user come, I give it. You need to see the gaps in the process. This is a persona, you don't need it. Empathy map, you don't need it. You start by sketching. Sketching is the most important thing. You should sketch for your homework this week. If you haven't sketched it, you haven't done it right. On your homework, you have an image. You open the image in Chrome because people will see the website in Chrome. So if I go to Hive, week 2, homework, which is not here, homework, week 2, the image you click, right click, and you say open with Chrome. So now how do I validate? I see it in Chrome, how people will see it, and I start developing. Sketches, by doing this, we are having this, so I will either print it or in Paint, in some program, I will write this one is header. The whole thing is main, 3 parts of the HTML file. Header, main, footer. Inside the header, I have H1 and I have H2. Under it, I have a nav. Inside it, UL, LI.
When you continue, point, and they should name what it is.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? No, I'm just talking. Yeah, sorry. We should test you. That's
Because-
the last week.
exactly,
I
because
didn't.
like-
I forget about it totally.
Yeah, because like
Thanks.
you came a couple of weeks ago, and this was new, and now you are able to tell us
You
what
should
is a
tell
page.
us. That's correct.
Yeah, what goes on a page?
Because I saw problems in the header. That's the header of the page. You have to have this H1, and here what do we have? Semantic. Nav, inside the nav. UL.
UL.
And these
A,
LI. The image in the web development, when you see an image having all the space, we call it hero. It's called hero image in our world. So this is a hero image. Where should all these Located? Main. What's the class of the main? Page main. It's the main in the page. After that, we have these. How can I divide them? What should I use? Sections. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. How do I style them? I look for the similar information or styling in all of them, and I give them 2 classes. The first class is section, and I style the class section for the general styling. Then for each of them, this one, class practical web development, I make it bigger, this smaller. You should have 2 classes on each element. What do I use to sort these this way?
Flexbox.
Flexbox. Not grid, Flexbox for
I
now.
did with grid
The
also.
problem with the grid that it's not accessible for all the browsers. And if you go to the commune, to the municipality, for example, or to the library, they still using Internet Explorer.
Okay.
So
I
we
did
need,
with Flex, but I tried with the grid also.
yeah, Flexbox is more accessible. We use Flex, and we have a footer here.
Yeah.
So when you analyze it on a paper or here, when I go when I go to the code, I know what should I do. The first thing I will do, header, main, footer, and I start inside each of them to work. This is what's called sketching. We sketch on a paper. Then, can you see? This is my sketch. This is nav. Inside it there is div. Inside it there is div logo. The whole thing is header. Here I have a section. Inside it there is article. Can you see the process? It's not something fancy to do. It's a must. Then we start something called prototype. That's the end thing. Did you see the papers on the wall? They are now a dashboard, a program. I think I have it on a pig. So this is the dashboard. This is the card. When people comes, it's everything digital. How it's useful. We have the database now of the customers. So when we need to send them promotion or something, we have everything organized. We can see how many users. During the year, we can see where is the peak in the work, where there is no money. We have doing, we have done. It's a list. When we finish, we say done. When it's done, it comes here. When it's done, it's automatically sending a message to the user instead of them opening the computer and write a message to the user. This is the website. The website, you always take inspiration. The website will have order status and order time to fix my phone. Order status, because we have the dashboard now, each order has a number. So when a user comes to the website, they enter their number and they see what is the status of their phone. This is the reparation. This is accessibility. So everything on the first page, instead of going page, then go iPhone, or go page, go mobile phone, another page. We count how many clicks user take to reach their task. It's called a task. So by doing this, in the front page, there is this table, and there's smartphone table, Mac, another. When you click on smartphone, there is Apple, and we put Apple at first because it's the most selling. So when you click here, you will see the table of prices in the same page. Can you see what we are doing? We are not doing web design. We are doing management system for people. This is the database. You don't need. I'm done.
Yeah. Because I think that a really like hands-on, practical way to talk about this would be to pull up some of the homework and take a look at some of the things you were struggling with.
Yeah.
So we look at it on a code level, and it's when we pick some. It's not to you. The good thing is that you hand in homework. And so it's not to, when we bring out an example, it's not to single you out and make you feel bad. It's just because we all learn together. So I would suggest that we go to Slack and take
I think I have one here or something.
yeah, take any of the homework, and then we see like some people, I noticed a lot of people had trouble with the footer, making content in the footer look nice. So let's like look at it and talk about it, and then we'll get a chance to talk about all these concepts we just learned.
Okay, who handed the homework the first? Yeah. Week 1, week 2. So let's figure out what problems do we have here. Okay, I will see you in the code. It's not about you, it's about the code. Main, the first problem we have that everything in the website is in the main. What should we do?
Okay, it's in the,
So we took off the header up, and the nav should be
in the middle.
inside the header. So when you put the nav inside the header, can you see now? Like it's the first thing we get rid of is the padding around here. There were a padding around the whole page. That's because I bet around the main there is a padding. If we go to main, there is padding.
I thought the image is still looking like they have the same photo and
Yeah, but there is no padding on the
Okay.
design. When a designer sends you the website, you need to make it
maybe that
exactly
image-
the same.
Yeah, in the image I thought it's a padding there because
Yeah. So here, if I open, I analyze this homework. The size of the header is not big, and you did something very tricky, which is we don't do at all. In the header, if we go, there is a nav, there is div. Never put a div without class name. We don't need it at all. You need to put a class name. For example, if I say class header wrapper. So I have a class to control. You used BR here, which we never use BR, never use BR. We use the model box. So instead of this wrapper, I will say padding 3EM. So I will have it. So you put a padding on the parent. There is other few things, but the most important thing is the semantic, as we said. So here we have a div, it's okay, but when it comes here, it's called a flex container. It's
two containers and I thought it's a section and it's a aside.
Yeah.
So,
The naming is important because it's not a flex container, it's content container.
yeah.
We don't name it like that, we name it like flex container, and we have a section. This is nice. Inside the section you are using PR as well, which is, as we talked about. Naming is very important. There is no naming for sections. We should name every tag on the page. Just take it like that. Name every tag. You wouldn't use it now, but when you are starting doing JavaScript, you will use it. We have the logos. The work with the logos is perfect. It's one of the best homeworks in the logos and the footer. Only problem is just the semantics, because when Google comes here, it will ask, where is the header? I entered the main. Inside the main there is header, so it will think that it's just sub-header. Okay, let's go back to the class. We will do position now, and if we have time, we will do flexbox and advanced styling. Okay, if you open the folder CSS position 1, you will have this website. it looks like that. In the folder you installed, good. Control L-O.
Exercises and something else.
Exercises, position 1, folder position 1. You open the whole folder. So you say VS Code open, you open the folder, not the files. This is good, do you have it? Yeah.
Position 1.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Could you help me because I'm not supposed to open
Yeah, because it's a zip file. You need to do something like this. Guys, you need to extract all because it's zip file.
Mahesh, one more time, where did you put it?
Inside the exercises,
Okay, so I'm not opening something.
no, you are open forms. You need the first one, not.
Ah, okay.
I posted one before this.
Okay, then I have to go to Slack, I guess.
Yeah, to Slack. Did you get it? Yeah. If you change this, right? Open
This one,
a server, say allow.
That's why.
Did you get it? Fine. We will learn position finally. This is not the folder. You need to open the folder. File, open. Yeah, the whole folder. No, yeah, you can. You can open the whole exercises folder, so you have every item inside it. Okay, open position 1. Yeah, and right click on the, yeah, open with live server. This is good. Don't put it in the downloads, just move it to a folder.
Can I ask you?
Yes.
Is it because it's unzipped or what?
Yes, you need to unzip it.
Did you have to go to just here?
The most important positions we have relative
Can you remind me what it's called again, the file?
exercises. You can open the whole exercises file.
I'm here. But I should
Can I
unzip
help
it.
you?
Yeah, sure. Because it's last me to unzip my phone. I found it, but it was like just help me. Sorry, I have to use. I'm trying to make it difficult for everyone. I know.
What is it?
So it just should be somewhere in that box here. Just okay, try
Click
to-
E.
H.
E.
Why would I be? Because I cannot click it on this URL. This is H, starts with H. Like really,
Hold on, but
that's so bad.
I will talk to the calendar. Okay.
I'm watching the okay, fine.
It will open from the folder, so open 1.
Thank you.
Okay, all done, guys. What we need to do here is Are we ready, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about position. We said we have 5 or more positions, 5, but we will talk about 3, the most important, and the most important 2, and then there is a static. Static means when you make an element, it will be located in a place after the element before it. This is the static, this is the default state. Fixed, when we make an element fixed,
It will stick to its place.
to its place all the time.
Even if we scroll down.
That's correct. High, 200%. I'm making the high of the body 200% so I can scroll. Okay, I have this aside. This aside, we use aside for advertising usually. This is an advertising about a trip. So if I say to the aside, position, fixed, it will stay at the same place. You will use it a lot for advertising. You will scroll and the advertisement, it will be on the same place. This is position fixed. So the structure of our file is we have a body. Inside it we have an article. This one, the whole thing is an article. And inside the article we have H1, H2, paragraph, and aside. Inside the aside we have an image. So this is the background blue. How can I do this without edgy corners? Border radius. How can I make a circle? Border radius 50% on any div with a background. We do a circle. So this image, the thing we are going to do is this image, we need to move it to the corner. This circle should be out of the container. This button as well, we need to put it here. So we can make something called visual weight. So this is an element here and an element here. How do we do it? The main top 2 positions we do, it's called absolute and relative. Now the aside, if we say absolute, no, relative, now this element is took out of the layout, we took it out, but it saves the space about it. Nothing will change about it. Why it's useful? Because the absolute is different. Absolute is taking the element from the layout, but the space which was taken by this element deleted. So that's why it collapsed. So we took it from the layout, and it's just like it's not in the place. So now we can control it. So if I say by doing top, bottom, right, left, if I say top, 0, it's on the top of the page. Left, 0, it's on the left of the page. Why it's going to the page? Why it's relative to the page?
Because it's relative to the browser.
The absolute position is relative to the first parent with relative position. Any absolute. So now I'm saying that if you have an absolute positioned element, it will be relative. The top and left and right will be the parent, the first parent which have relative position. So now the first parent which have relative position, there is no parent have relative position. That's why it's going where?
To the head of the page.
To the head of the page. But if we put, like, this is aside, what is the parent of the aside? Article. What do you think it would happen if I said position relative?
It will be at the same place.
Related to the article.
So it will be related to the article because it's the first parent that has position relative. Okay, so we will say position relative. So now the top of this element is not the page because the page has relative, yeah. But the parent of, there is a parent element after the whole page, which is the article, has a relative. We call it absolutely relative or something like that. Okay? This is very important. Why? Because now I need this image to put it on the left of this article. Okay, let's delete the position. Okay, your task is, a designer said that we have a card and this element I need it to be on this corner and this element I need to be on this corner. If I applied position absolute to this image, what would happen? We have an image inside the aside. This is the image. There is no relative parent, position relative parent. If I applied position relative to this, if I applied position absolute with top 0, left 0,
We go to the corner of the
to the corner of the page. Why?
because there is no relative.
There is no relative parent. If I put it, if the article is relative, where would this item go?
The top.
To article. So in this situation, which element on the page should be relative?
Aside.
The aside. So we should have the aside, position, relative. So now it's out of the layout, but it doesn't move. What should we do next? Go to the image.
And put position absolute. Top
Position
zero.
absolute.
Position plus zero.
Okay, so if I said position absolute,
Top zero.
top
Plus zero.
0,
Left zero.
left 0. It's correct, right? We figure it out. It's easy, like if you think about it now, position, relative and absolute. It's just we have a relative position that we put a relative position to position things inside it absolutely. That's the only thing we do. So now we have it here, but we need the lines to be up and to the left. What do we do? Margin 0, but there is no margin already. Okay, what about margin? Margin minus 10 pixel. Can you see what's happening? So instead of doing that, we do margin left. Margin top. We are doing minus because we want to get out. Normal margin will take it in. If I said margin top 20 pixel, it will take it inside. We want to take it outside. Minus 10 pixels. Can you see how easy it is? Okay, what about the button? I have the button. I want it to be not on the corner, but out of the corner. What should I do for it?
Position relative to the article.
Yeah, but the parent should be relative. Anything inside it I want to move, it should be absolute.
Yeah.
So it should be
Absolute.
absolute. So it's down now. Why it's down? Because when we take it out,
The space.
the space of it goes away. So we took it out, then we say right, minus, instead of adding margin like here, I will do the right way, which is we don't need to add more thing. We say right minus 10 pixel. Now there is a problem with the text. So this text, how can I fix it? Usually when we have a parent and there is inside it an element, what we do a relative position to take it out of the layout and then work on the things inside it. So we take it out, the elements, I will name them position absolute, and I will control them with top, right, left. What is the fourth one? Bottom. But the element inside it, instead of using margin for each element, if you have a space around it, you use padding for the main parent. So I will say padding 3em or 2em. It depends on your need. What we need now is padding top 2em, and that's it. What do you think about position now? Easier a little bit?
Yeah, but actually, I
Okay.
understand the bottom, when we fix the position to absolute, why did it go up to the...
Okay. So now the whole aside. If I put position relative, this item will go out. There is something called website flow. So there is a flow for the items, H1, H2, B, this. There is a flow for the item, and the article has a border. Okay, this is a border. But if I put this to relative, it will take it out,
Yeah.
but it will keep the space behind it to be existed. But if you put absolute to this card, it will take it out and delete the space around it. So if I say the aside position absolute, it will delete the space, so it doesn't exist at all, this one. But if I have the position relative, so it's like you are at home, but when you go out of your home, you didn't lose your home, you still have a place. This is relative. Absolute is when someone kick you out of your home. You don't have a space. There is no space at all. It doesn't matter. So we, as a rule, the easiest thing to think about position. If I need Control R, if I have a parent, let's say this parent aside, and I want to move the things inside it, just inside it, I name the parent position relative. And the things inside it that have to move, it should be absolute. It's the same for this. This thing, you will take it by exercises. It took me too much to understand them. But I'm trying to give you like the easiest example to do it. Parent is absolute, is relative. Children is absolute. We control them by what? No.
Left, right, bottom.
This is the most important. The axis. You control them by saying top, left, right, bottom. Cool?
Is there anyone, because this is like such a good chance for you all. We're talking about these concepts. You're learning. Is there anyone who would like to say, I have homework and there was one thing I couldn't figure out how to do, and then we look at it now? Did anyone have like an issue we can fix? together.
And the last homework when in the mobile view, I couldn't do the image to take all the place to be hero. There was a
That's a
padding.
really good example
that
because I saw a
I
couple of
couldn't
people
pick
had
off.
the same issue with the street view, with the address image.
The week 1, you mean?
No, week 2. Week 2.
Is it this one? You didn't hand in the homework, you mean?
Yeah.
It's not working on GitHub. And we cannot do it.
Did anyone else have issues with the little map?
Issues with positioning.
But issues with
It was the
positioning.
first
Yeah.
image
Yeah, but we cannot
when
open
it
it.
was in the mobile.
Can I suggest a solution? Actually, what I did, I used for the photo, I used weights 100%.
Okay, let's talk about something for the percent. There is something called VH. So there is the body. Either we say the body is 80%, so high, 80%, or we say 80 view high. View high means it sees the page, so when you open it on phone, on iPad, on anything, it will see the viewport, which is the window. You will learn about in JavaScript, but view high and we have view width. This is the sizes. There is 100% view high, view width. There is EM and REM. What is the difference?
EM is related to the parent font size.
This is
and
correct.
REM
Yeah.
is related to the main parent.
This is correct. Yeah. So there is EM, the font size 1 EM. It means it sees the parent and see what is the font size for the parent, and it give it one of it. Like if the parent is font size 16 pixels, 1M means 16 pixels. REM is related to the whole HTML file. HTML font size blah blah blah. M and REM. Okay, you want to move to Flexbox, or you want to do this here, or because if you want to do this here, we need to set more for Flexbox, or you would do it home. Do it home, the position,
Yeah.
and I will upload.
Yeah, then we can go through homework, and the most important thing is to talk about everyone should prepare for the next class.
Yeah.
JavaScript.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go through homework, but I have exercise for the Flexbox. So the exercise is easy. There is another exercise. There is 2 for position. The next one is, I just want to tell you how to do it, and you do it home. So we have this. This is an article, a component, or an element. And there is an image. You need to say image and get the image from the images. It's called icon. So now there is this image. You need to resize it. So I would say with 50 pixel. And you put it position absolute. The parent should be position what? Relative. And the image should be top minus 20 pixels. And try to make it in the middle of the container. So it will be like in the middle of the line and in the middle here. Okay, this is the second exercise. The third exercise before we jump to the homeworks is Flexbox. So you have these 3 flexes. Flex means it's a shortcut for flexible. It's called the flexible box. So you have a section with 3 divs, you need to display flex and start playing with it. You have 3 divs. You would do many things with these 3 divs. Or you just copy these divs and make more. And in the workshop, like in 2-3 weeks, we will experiment with it when we rebuild the Momento website. What about the homework? Should we show it?
We should show it, but yeah. I can, it's mostly I want to tell people they really have to prepare.
Yeah, sure. Okay, there is, in the form before we finish, there is constraint, which called validation. We learned about required, that this one should be required. There's other things you should learn by yourself. There is the minimum and maximum length, how many letters. There is a pattern called like the CBR number in Denmark has a pattern. These things you shouldn't write, you find them online, like I show you in Googling things. A progress, this is a new, I'm preparing you to do the homework. You will use the progress in your homework. It's an element, it has a value, for example 10. The max is 100. If you set value to 10, so it will be like progress bar just with 10. This is how you style it. I will post this on Slack. Checkbox image selector. So if you want to have, instead of checkboxes, by doing this and styling like this, it will have images. If you put image 50, for example here, the height and width of the image is 50. So you can select images by doing this instead of having just a checkbox under the image. This would be cool in the homework. Remember to see it. These references, before you start the homework, check them. This is the whole reference about forms. How to make pages. It's a video on YouTube, 8 minutes. So you will have 4 pages for the form. There is 2 ways just to have 4 pages. When you click next, you go to another page. Or you will have tabs here. You will have 4 tabs, and in each tab there is something. This is very easy to teach you how to make tabs. Checkbox to hide and show elements. So if you want to show or hide elements on the page. How to find information, the country, key or CBR. Styling forms. Here there is like ready styles to apply them, choose one and experiment with it. And thanks.
So, just before we end, you did a lot of work today already with forms.
Congrats.
And, congrats on doing so much. And
you learned HTML, CSS.
You learned HTML, CSS, and you actually set yourself up for success because the homework is more forms, and you did quite a lot, and you worked really fast and concentrated today. So homework is basically using the knowledge you applied today a little bit more. And we want you to do the homework and be as serious about it as you have with all the other homework. But there's one thing that's even more important for next week, and that is for every week you have preparation, and this time I trust that you prepared for the other classes, but for next class, for your own sake, do read up. You spend time reading up about the material that is on JavaScript before you show up. It's gonna help you. It's gonna set you up for success. JavaScript is wonderful, but it is hard. So get it right. Start it right. So you have, as homework, you have the forms. We're super excited to see how you solve it, and very excited to chat with you in Slack about any questions you have. But I am just gonna repeat. Promise me that you do the preparation before JavaScript next time.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even just gonna be so like stern and like angry sounding, I'm gonna also tell you that JavaScript is incredible. It's gonna be so much fun. Like, this stuff was nice. JavaScript, it's a whole new world. It's gonna be super, super exciting. I'm gonna post, I'm posting,
You should be excited about CSS. It's cool.
yes.
Let me show you my graduation project that I was like busy with this week. This is the feedback system I told you about. This will be on iPad inside the shop. I don't know if there's sensitive pictures here, but I will close it directly. Cigarettes. Yeah. So this is my station at home. So while I'm coding, I have my code here. I have my Chrome here. It's open with the inspect. And who would see it? Where should I show it? It's on iPad. So I have to have the iPad to see what's the result. You have to test all the time, like especially when you work responsive. So
You have Windows XP installed on that machine?
me?
Yeah, like before?
No.
It's looking like that.
No, man. Yeah, so my graduation project is just a website for what is it called? A candy store. This video will be like promotional video, and the thing is, it's called. There's a concept called mobile first. So you design for mobile, then it doesn't really matter the website for desktop, but you design it anyway. So on mobile, if you click on the inspector on this mobile, you will see how does it look. And you click here and you say iPhone 6. So you will have it like that. And when you click on bike, it will open Google Maps and it will take you to the store by bike or walking, or these posts are dynamic from Facebook coming. There is what's called virtual tour. So you can on the phone make like that and walk inside the store. And yeah, that's it. There is content information. But the main project was the feedback. So you can build more than a website. That's my point. And yeah. We have homework?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not stupid. Give us some questions, guys.
Yeah. The phone project, because totally we didn't understand anything. So if you can upload to GitHub the whole project.
You sound smart.
You will install it.
No, man, just so
I
you-
didn't develop it. I just did the user experience and I stopped.
What
because-
program do you use that to make the whole? It's Photoshop or?
I use Photoshop all the time. Yeah. But the thing is that it takes a lot of time and I need money to do it. I wouldn't do it just for a project for school. But I did the whole user experience research for it. So I show you like the possibilities, what can you do in the future.
And Majd, he showed that he had this place where he puts ideas. But I wanted to say one thing, because that's also a really good idea. But my friend told me this, and I remember it still. He said, like, if you have an idea for something, it doesn't matter if it already exists. It doesn't matter, because people build all sorts of things. Maybe you have the idea for an app, I want to build this, and someone already did. Doesn't matter. Build a new one. It's fine.
But did it better.
Build it better. Yeah. Because like ideas, everyone can have an idea. But like you actually have something more than ideas after these 3 weeks. You actually have skills. That's really incredible. It's only 3 weeks and you are able to build stuff. That's super exciting.
I'm really proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Like what you did, really, the week 2, like everyone built a website with a Flexbox and with these icons. It's very nice. And it's responsive. Like you can have a friend now and like he needs a CV or something. You can build a website for them And if you need help, like to upload it online and buy a domain, just contact me, and it's 5 minutes thing. You're a web designer already.
It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool because like from the scratch, and like we have to bring it to life.
Yeah,
It was
it's
really amazing.
Yeah. Especially when you design something from zero. Like the homework, you are designing a website from zero. You have nothing but an image. And even you have wireframes, not images for the mobile phone. So we're really proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Who's not proud of themselves? There is silence here.
All right. Well, thank you for class, and we'll be on Slack, and we'll be around.
So like I'm thinking with the administration here, I'm talking to them to make workshop every month just to learn HTML and CSS, so we rebuild websites. So the first one will we rebuilding is this website that the guys choose.
Using which
Just HTML and CSS. We will build all this website together.
When is gonna be that?
Like I'll be with it the next 2 weeks, but like next month I want you to come inside JavaScript, so maybe we can do some small cool stuff with JavaScript as well. But the problem with other students, like when they leave HTML and CSS after a month or two, they forget it. So we need to make a refresh every month to build a new website. And there's many things you didn't learn in CSS. CSS is a big word. I encourage you should style every day to learn it. There is animation. It's very easy. But you need just to try it, CSS animation. Yeah.
Folder that you actually said is open, I mean, it's not opening. Is that something that